So this is homework 1.1, numbers 11, 12, and 13. So 11, remember you could, depending on what problems you got in your homework, have slightly different numbers than I have, but the process should be the same. So this one says, considering the following, you get a point and a line. Write a slope-intercept form of an equation. So that means this is slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. That's the form my answer needs to be in, of a line through a given point and parallel. So parallel lines have the same slope. All right, to the given line. So we're writing an equation for a new line that's parallel to the line that's given. So in order to write an equation of a line, you need a point and a slope. They've given us a point. We need to figure out the slope of this line. Now right now this line is in standard form or general form. I want to rewrite it to put it in slope-intercept form, because when I'm in this form, my slope is the number or the coefficient of the x. So to get y by itself, I'm just going to minus x from both sides. So y equals negative x plus 9. So the coefficient of the x is negative 1. So the slope of the given line is negative 1. I need to write an equation of a line parallel to the given line. Parallel lines have the same slope, so I'm going to write an equation with this point, negative 6, 5, and the slope of negative 1. So I'm going to use point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Remember, this is the one you use when you have a point and a slope, but you don't have the y-intercept. So it's going to be y minus 5, that's my y value, equals, my slope is negative 1, x minus negative 6. So I just write that like that, minusing a negative. But remember, minusing a negative is the same as adding, so I'm going to turn that into a giant plus. And I'm going to distribute the negative 1. So then I'm going to have y minus 5 equals negative x. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. And then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So then I have y by itself equals negative x, negative 6, plus 5 is negative 1. So that is the answer to part A. Now part B is basically the same, but the new equation for a line I'm writing is perpendicular to the given line. So the given line, so I'll put that down, the given line has a slope of negative 1. So the perpendicular line will have a slope that is the opposite, so it's going to be positive, reciprocal. So I want to take the reciprocal of 1. Well, 1 over 1 is just 1. So my line is going to have a slope of positive 1. So now I'm going to write a point slope equation again, but in here, I'm going to put positive 1 instead of negative 1. Everything else is going to be the same because I'm using the same point. So it's going to be y minus 5 equals 1 times x minus negative 6. Turn that into a giant plus. The 1 doesn't do anything, so this is the same as y minus 5 equals x plus 6. Add 5 to both sides. Y equals x plus 11. All right, so that is 10. I'm sorry, that's number 11. Here is number 12. I've already done some writing on it, which I will actually erase, so I can go over it a little bit again. So number 12 says, when driving down a mountain road, you notice warning signs that indicate that it is a 9% grade. I noticed one of the other problems had a 10% in here. That means that the slope of the road is this. So this is rise over run. So they tell you basically what the slope is. Approximate the horizontal change. So horizontal, think that's x-axis. In your position, if you note from the elevation markers that you have descended 2,000 feet vertically. So vertically is your key word here, which tells you your y value is 2,000. So think x and y axis. When they say horizontally, so it says approximate your horizontal change. So that means x is what I'm finding. And then it says when your vertical change is 2,000. So that means my y value is 2,000. And I also know my slope is -9 over 1,000. So think of point slope form. Y equals mx plus b. So my y is 2,000. My slope is -9 over 1,000 times x. And my y-intercept for this, I'm going to assume my y-intercept is 0, that I'm right here. I have to assume that because they didn't give me any more information. So, and they're asking for an x. So I can just solve this equation for x. So I want to, let's see, let's turn that -9, -9 divided by 100. Let's turn that into a decimal first, because what I want to do is divide both sides by this slope. So that's the same as, -0.09. So now I have 2,000 equals -0.09x. So I'm going to divide both sides by -0.09. And that's going to tell me what my x is. So 2,000 divided by, I'm just going to go up and grab that number, equals -22,222. So that is my elevation. There's another problem. I don't know what problem you had in your homework. I don't know if you had this one with the 9%. If you had the one with the 10%, your answer would be 20,000, and that's feet. So our answer was 22,222 feet. So that's how far we've gone down vertically. All right, the last one, number 13, says you are given the dollar value of a product in 2015 and the rate at which the value of the product is expected to change during the next 5 years. So write a linear equation. That's what we're doing. That gives you the dollar value V of the product in terms of T. So V is what we're solving for. So I kind of wrote here that Y is the value and X is the years. And whenever you're doing a problem, if you have any kind of time in your problem, like years, that's always going to be your independent variable, because time depends on nothing. And then the Y value here, or the Y axis, is the value. So it looks like this. They later on use this notation, V of t. That's just value with respect to time. So remember, that's the same as your Y. And so that's going to equal, if you think, y-intercept, mx plus b, right? All right, so we need to write an equation of a line. You always need a point and a slope. So let's find that point and that slope. This is all they give us. This is a rate. A rate of change is always a slope. So my slope, I wrote it right here, is 5.5. Whenever it says rate or rate of change, average rate of change, that's the key word that means that's your slope. This, it says, is my value in the year 2015. So we said that value was our y value. So our y is 135. And then up here they say let t equal 15 represent 2015. So we're interested in the year 2015. So our x is 15. So we do have a point. The point is 15, 135. So that's our point, and this is our slope. So now we want to write an equation for this point and this slope. So I'm going to start again with point slope form. So y minus our y is 135 equals our slope, which is 5.5, times x minus 15 is our x. So distribute that 5.5, y minus 135 equals 5.5 times x and 5.5 times 15. That's 82.5 minus, and then add 135 to both sides. So I get y equals 5.5x. I'm just going to take that, times that by -1, and add 135, 52.5. So that is my equation. Actually, though, more technically, I should write it as the value with respect to t is 5.5t plus 52.5. So whenever they ask you to write an equation of a line, remember you have to have a point and a slope. And in this problem, anything that's related to time is our x value. And anything that's related to value is our y value. So this value is our y. This t equals 15 is our x. And remember, whenever you see anything about rate, that is the same as slope. Number 14 is a problem that should not have been assigned to you. You can ignore this problem. You won't see anything like that on a test or a quiz. Hope that helps.